What's up, guys? I am back after a break from social media. Here I am with a nice video for you on entries. People have been asking me lately, if you don't like indicators, how are you finding entries to your trades? Here's the deal. I've got one line on the chart today that's going to give you 5 different entries for a trade. A single line can give you 5 different entries for a trade. Let's check it out. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. This is Visa. This is today's chart for 1 minute time frame. Remember, I am a scalper and a day trader, so I'm looking at these shorter time frames. I've got this one line on the chart, no other indicators. And this one line, I only took one of these trades, but someone was asking me later on in the day, hey, could you have gotten in here also? So I'm going to show you 5 different trades from this line, even though I only actually took one of them. So where did I get this line from? Let's zoom in a little bit here earlier. You can see we have some resistance here where we went on this drop. We tried to get back a little bit, and that's where it stopped roughly. Then it dropped again. It came back up. The wick of this candle reached that point. That's 203.39. That's where I actually drew the line. So you can see this one pops above it just a little bit, but this wick here, the high of that candle was 203.39. That's where I drew the line because I was watching to see if it would break these levels. It came back up right to where it was over here and then rejected again. So once it rejected, that's where I actually drew that line in. So what I'm looking for now is just a break of that line. Let's zoom in again to make it a little bit more focused. This is the rejection here. That's where I drew the line. I'm watching for this candle right here. When we punched through that level with such a big candle here, that was my entry. I got in right at this candle here. I'm riding it up, and this is a scalp. So remember, I'm looking for where momentum starts to dry up. And what you can see is a big candle here to punch through that resistance, smaller candle, but then we have a bigger candle, bigger candle, bigger candle. We start to see some dropping, but it closes up near the top. So big lower wick closes near the top. Then we get this really small candle, another really small one, and then a red one. So you can see the momentum starts drying up right in here for 3 or 4 candles. That's where I exited. This was actually a 17% gain in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. 8 or 9 minutes, I forgot which candle I actually got on, but 17% gain in 9 minutes based on a break of this level right here. Again, resistance, resistance, it rejected, so that's where I drew the line. I got in on the break of that resistance to the upside. If you're enjoying this type of content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends so we can all learn something new, and let's get back to the charts. Now this is a scalp. Someone was asking later on in the day, well, where else could you have gotten in? Does it make sense to get back in here? And if you watch some of my earlier videos, there's one I have that shows you 6 different entries on a single chart, similar to what I'm doing here. And in that video, I explained 2 ways that I like to trade these breakouts. On a break like this, I like to scalp it because we're punching through a resistance level, and I'm just going to watch the momentum, and when momentum dries up, that's where I'm going to exit a scalp. Now to enter a longer day trade, what I like to do is wait for it to come down and test this level and hold a support. Sometimes it doesn't do that, so you don't get that second trade. In this case, it did. We have the resistance here, we punched through, and then we came back down to test this area. You can see this candle here broke below that line, but it didn't stay down there. The very next candle came right back up, and it came back up with some strength. So once you see that it comes back down to test this level, and this level is going to hold as support, you can get into a trade there for call position, and you just exit if it drops back down and doesn't hold. Now, if it doesn't hold, you're getting out as close to this point as where you got in, so that trade isn't going to hurt you so much. So you get in as close to this level as possible once you see that that holds as support, and you have another trade here riding it up from there. So that's your second trade on this same chart. So let's say you didn't ride it all the way up and you see it come back down and test that level again. Remember, it was resistance, resistance, we broke through, we scalped. When it comes back down to test and hold, we have an entry for a longer day trade position. It comes all the way back down, but it holds again. So if you missed it there, you can get in a third time right here and ride it back up again. Now, where's your fourth trade? You see it come back down here and it's kind of consolidating above that area. Let's zoom in a little bit. You can see it touches that area, but it doesn't break. It touches that area, but it doesn't break. Touches, touches, doesn't break. This candle broke below, this candle stayed below, this candle tried to touch it, and it's now acting as resistance. So we have this concept where prior support becomes resistance. The very next candle, same thing. This level is now holding as resistance and it gets pushed back down. So the sellers are in control here. So our fourth trade is we're consolidating above this level. It's acting as support, but it's not super strong because it can't make any higher highs here. It's just stuck in this range. When it finally breaks below that level, that's an entry for a put position. And you can see that would have been a nice move to the downside. So where's trade number 5? We come all the way back up, we test this level here, and look, we get rejected again. So this is about a $1 move in the underlying. And when you're trading options, a $1 move in the underlying can give you a nice return. This one over here, I got in somewhere around this 203.39, rode it up to about 204.06. So that's a smaller move, and that smaller move gave me a 17% return. So this $1 move with options can give you a pretty good return. So that's 5 entries on a chart with a single line drawn, no indicators needed. Keep trading simple. That's how it's done. You've got a scalp. You've got a test and hold of that level, that's trade number 2. It tests and hold that level again, that's trade number 3. It's consolidating above that level, finally breaks below. A put position there is trade number 4. It comes back down to test it. That is rejected again, so that is trade number 5. 5 trades on one chart with just a single line. Remember guys, keep trading simple. I'll see you out there on the charts.